Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What is going on, LBHT Crew B? What is going on?
Well, one of our teams is in the conference championship game, and the other team said, "We won 2 games. Let's run it back."
Let's make a splash
So that's cool.
in-house. In-house.
Pretty cool.
Bam. What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Yes.
All right. So wherever you're watching, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, follow, all that good stuff. Okay. You can find us everywhere at LBHT Show. All the social medias at LBHT Show. We're the same everywhere. So make sure you're following us. All right. Let's give a shout out to look who's here. Give a shout out to the chat here. Bazel is first. Salute to Bazel. Salute to you. Jeremy Miller's in the house, says, in case I'm late, some breaking news. Jim Harbaugh officially leaving Michigan for the Chargers head coaching job. Yes, indeed. I'm glad you brought that up. We're not going to talk too much about that on the main show, but the overtime show. Look at that. Harbaugh is so happy. Bill said, I'm happy for you, even though I didn't get a job yet, but whatever. I only won a bazillion Super Bowls. Nobody's calling me yet, but but yes. Noah's in the house, says go Ravens and Lions. Hashtag LBHT crew. Noah's on cloud 9. He roots for both teams, and both teams could be facing each other in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, everybody's on cloud 9 when they just pick the winners.
Hey, my oldest son David would know, right?
I know.
He's always happy. Just Alan, what's going on?
Man was a Chiefs fan a couple of years ago.
He was Chiefs, Patriots, Dallas Cowboys early in the season. He said, okay, let me just take that hat off and get my Ravens hat going. I mean, he's like, life is great. I ain't mad at him. Just Alan says, what up, LBHT crew? I hope everyone is doing well. 1 down and 2 to go. Yes. Our guy Rock is in the house. What's going on, Rock? Says, let's get it. Salute panel and chat. Let me give a shout out to Rock, man, because Rock is a huge boxing fan. We've been letting him down a little bit. We haven't been providing the Ring Kings content that he's used to, but stay tuned. Stay subscribed. We coming back. All right. Mikey is he is busy coaching high school basketball.
Coach ain't send you.
Who?
Coach.
And send who?
Coach.
Oh, Coach. Hashtag Coach sent me. Yes, Coach sends a lot of people in here, man. Salute to Coach.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Let's see who else. Yolanda B is in the chat. Salute. She told you that's where you can find her.
What's up, Yolanda? Thanks
for coming through. I got Clint says, I have anxiety like I'm playing the game Sunday. I feel you. I feel you. Just remember that you're not. And you're you can sit down comfortably.
That's it.
But I feel you though, right? Like this is a big one. This is a big one. I gotta tell you, I like Josh Allen. I like the Bills. I'd have felt a lot more comfortable playing the Bills.
Yeah, this is the de facto Super Bowl championship right here this Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, look, if the
already beat the hell out of the other two.
Yeah, but I think the 49ers are good enough to bounce back, right? Not saying I would pick them, but they're good enough to where you can't just be like, oh, same thing's going to happen again.
Most of them are. I don't know.
One doesn't look as good anymore. He's kind of an important piece, but let's see. Rock says, about time getting tired of listening to Chiefs content creators. Hey man, when you win like they do, they're gonna talk their trash. I respect
and Rock, that is entirely under your control.
Yes, 100%. Okay. MJ's in the house, says, Coach sent me. What the flock is going on? Coach did not send you. Okay, you're part of the crew. All right, but appreciate you coming through. Raven Ron's in the house. What's going on? Says, I think Dooney is out. So Matt Beast is going to feast. Yeah, that's big. Main L, what up? What up? Thanks for coming through. Okay, who else we got in here? J Millie 52 said, Coach sent us. Salute. Thanks for coming through, J Millie. All right. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Our guy Christian, he doesn't even watch football. Okay.
What's up, Christian?
Combat sports, but he coming through supporting us. I appreciate you, Christian. Thank you so much. He's over there in the Philippines too. All right.
You got a question too, or a comment, I guess. Still waiting for the Joshua Ngannou pre-fight forecast.
Okay.
I can give you that right now.
Yeah.
Joshua outboxes Ngannou and wins easily.
You think knockout?
No, I don't think knockout. I think he plays it safe.
Yeah.
And in order to not himself get knocked out, and wins on points easily.
I agree. I think this fight's going to look more like what the first fight with Fury should have looked like. It should have looked like boxing entertainment. If you guys never heard me talk about that, I call it boxing entertainment. These fights aren't supposed to be real fights, right? Yeah. This is an exhibition match, but Ngannou said, "Nah, bro, I'm going for it," right? And he did, and Fury just didn't prepare for that fight and almost got knocked out. He lost the fight, in my opinion.
I think he did as well.
But Joshua's going to take it a lot more seriously, and it's going to look more like the exhibition match the first fight should have looked like.
Yeah.
All right. But appreciate you coming through, Christian, man. Thank you. AJ E's in the house. Says, what up, fellas? Coach sent me here. AJ, you just
lying, Agent.
You're just a follower. Okay. Stop following. 410 Easy said, Coach said, hey, salute. Quinier Martins, Coach sent you. Bazel, Coach did not say you were first here. Okay, you were first here. Coach didn't say.
Agent got that smile on his face in the other avatar, like he's an 8-year-old who just got away with something. He's in this new one wearing a suit. He's got a 9:00 bedtime. Like, I'm all confused. I don't know what it is, Agent.
The Chef 87. What's going on, Chef? Says good evening, everyone. Can't wait to be at the bank on Sunday. That's right. You go to those games. T-Pain performing at halftime. I'm gonna buy lady a drink. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Joe Howard in the house is Floyd Mayweather and Tank Davis. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. But okay, thanks for coming through. Jeremiah, salute. Coach sent you. Appreciate you. Sir Palmer says, I'm here because Coach sent me. Sip to Tally Films. We know who Coach is, but thank you, Sir Palmer. Listen. If you guys don't know why Coach sent you here, okay, we work as a unit, okay? We are a crew. The co-op. Okay, you guys know what the co-op is? If you're a Wire fan, you know. All right, we're the co-op. Okay, it's ourselves. It's Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films. It's Chris Just Joking from Deep Cover Podcast. It's Hendo from the Row Pod, and our brother OTR Mike. Okay, from Open Mic with OTR Mike. We do a live show every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The Ravens Roundup. That's where you find all of us. All right, so we work together. That's why you're gonna, if you watch us, you're going to see us plug everybody's stuff. You watch Coach, he's going to be plugging everybody's stuff. You watch Hendo. He been dropping those videos, man, like hot cakes. All right. You'll see him plug our stuff. Okay. You don't need to roam around the Twitter street, the YouTube streets, looking for content. We got you covered. Just subscribe to all of us and you will stay entertained and informed throughout the whole week. All right. Sean Cole, thanks for coming through. Salute. Killers in the house. Hola. Mucho gusto. Yes. C Iron Addict. Salute. We saw C Iron Addict at the meet and greet, and he hung out with us at the after party as well, man. Real cool brother, man. Salute to you.
Yes.
And thanks for coming through. Danity's in the house. What's going on, Danny? Says, don't talk about it. Be about it. Hit that like and subscribe button. Ravens fans, if you're in the chat, are you excited or not? That's what I'm talking about. Listen to Danity. All right, we have almost 100 people in here already. We ain't even start the show yet, but we probably should start. One session's what's going on. Attitude Pop, salute. Coach didn't send you Attitude Pop. Stop it. Y'all just whatever. You're here now. We're going to get this show started. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And B and Okole have a Black History fact for you.
Welcome to this week's LBHT Black History Fact. Martin Delany was born in what is today Charlestown, West Virginia, in 1812. Early on, Delany moved to Pennsylvania, where blacks were only allowed to attend school through the elementary grades. After that, Delany was self-educated through reading, and eventually, he became one of the first black students accepted into Harvard University. Unfortunately, he was unable to attend after white students petitioned to have all the black enrollees removed. Instead, Delany would apprentice with multiple physicians and spend the early part of the 1830s treating patients during the cholera epidemic. This rejection turned Delany's interests to politics. He published the black-owned newspaper, The Mystery, where he wrote about abolition and black culture. In 1847, Delany and an acquaintance by the name of Frederick Douglass founded the North Star, and Delany traveled the country lecturing and making sure everyone hit the subscribe button. Delany was seen as a radical abolitionist. He believed that whites in America would never allow blacks to become equals in this society, and that blacks should establish their own country elsewhere. He said as much in his 1852 book, The Condition, Elevation, Emigration, and Destiny of the Colored People of the United States, Politically Considered. His pursuit of a new black nation was put on hold, however, when the country erupted into civil war. In 1863, Delany began recruiting black soldiers for the Union. His efforts in Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Ohio brought thousands to the North's cause. Delany met with President Lincoln and was given the rank of Major, making him the first black field officer in the history of the U.S. Army. Delany remained politically and socially active after retiring from the military. He also began practicing medicine again before passing away from tuberculosis in 1885.
All right. Shout out to Charlestown, West Virginia. Okay. All right. That was a good one.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that one, and then I read Charlestown. I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yes. Salute. Who else do we have here? Osmond, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Yes, Paul Messick says, hit the like button, fam. That's right. Hit the like button. All right. Yes, and listen to Dandy again. Cash App, okay? $ LBHT Show. That's what you see in the corner right under B. All right. If you liked your comment read, yes, that's right. Yes, Cash App is $ LBHT Show. The pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our Stream Elements page. Either way, you leave a donation, leave a comment, and you get a nice little animation right next to me right here from Microphone Man, and I'll read your comment on air. That is how we do super chats around here, in case you were wondering. All right. All right. Listen, I know why y'all here, man. Okay. I know. I mean, this is it. This is the brawl for it all, so to speak. You know, I don't like to, talk about what we call it. We call them speaking too soon on something. I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl before it's played, right? But it just kind of feels like the winner of the AFC Championship game is going to win the Super Bowl. The NFC just doesn't look as strong.
They don't. And the Ravens have a little bit of that feel of, I noticed that I haven't really heard anybody say it this year. Normally you get, this tag on at least one team, but they feel a little bit like a team of destiny.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've already beat down Detroit. They already beat down San Francisco. I'm not sure what those teams would do differently that would close that gap. I mean, I know that San Francisco could just not turn the ball over 8 million times, but I'm not sure that they'll be able to achieve that. And Detroit, I don't think that there's much of anything that they could really change that would make that. And not saying that they would get beat by 30 plus again, but I don't think that they're on the same level as Baltimore. So it really is coming down to Kansas City and Baltimore. And I think that the Ravens just have too much for them this year.
Yeah. I was listening to Brodny Jones' podcast, and he said something. He's 100% right. He said if they win it all, this is the best Ravens team ever. Because he said if you look at it, people aren't really talking about it because they had the losses on the record, but they shouldn't, they had 3 losses they shouldn't have lost. Right? They could have very easily been playing for an undefeated season, they obviously they didn't play in that last game, so they lost that last game, but very dominant this year. One of the most dominant seasons or dominant teams that we've had, because that 2000 Ravens team wasn't a dominant team. It was a dominant defense.
Yeah.
It was not a dominant team.
This Ravens team, I believe, has beaten 9 teams over 500 by at least 14, which is just ridiculous.
This reminds me of another season. We didn't win it all, but it reminds me of the season. It was the first year we got Steve McNair here, because those 2000 after we won the Super Bowl the first time, and we got Ed Reed and we got Suggs and Nada, I felt like those early 2000s defense was better than the 2000 defense that won the Super Bowl.
Hold on, Jose.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we need the chat to help out. Our man Sean Cole's here. What's up with the super chat?
Oh, okay. The super chat. Let me explain that again. All right. This is how we do super chat over here. Right below B, $ LBHT Show. Okay, that is our Cash App. Or you can click the link that's pinned in our chat box. It's right there in the chat box. Okay, that'll take you to our Stream Elements page. All right. Either way, you can make a payment there, leave your comment, and you'll get the super chat that'll pop up right here. All right. People ask us about Zelle. Do we have a Zelle? I don't think we have.
No, we do not have a Zelle. We have a Venmo. We have Cash App. And the reason, Sean, like Brandon Bazel mentioned there, is because YouTube takes 30% of whatever you give in super chats. Right. Yeah.
Imagine if you want to give somebody money. Hey man, I like what you're doing. Whatever. Let me donate to your cause. Hey, somebody asked you to borrow $20, right? You give it to somebody. Say, hey, give so and so my $20, and they give that person $14, right? And that person says, hey, I got you $14. Thanks. You be like, wait, I sent you 20.
Right.
6. Oh, that guy said he's going to take 30%. Right. You wouldn't be happy with that. We're not happy with that. Nobody's happy with that. All right. Except for YouTube. So we will never activate that super chat link there. I know you guys, it's convenient for you guys. We try to make it as convenient as possible. So we still give you the highlighted comment if you donate through Cash App and the Stream Elements. All right, PayPal, Venmo, all that stuff. We can give you that animation. All right, so that's how we do it. Just like that. Look at that. Just like how Marco G did it. Salute to Marco G. Says that tough stretch in the schedule to finish the season, I think, helped this team. My only concern is the refs and Roger Goodell wanting Taylor Swift and her fans to be in the Super Bowl.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't buy into conspiracy theories, but I tell you what, if we lose this game, I'm gonna be all up on it. Hot Boy Rod, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. MDT Sports, salute to you guys. All right, appreciate y'all. I lost my train of thought. We were talking about I was telling you the Steve McNair team it reminds me of that year, because all throughout the early 2000s we had the most dominant defenses I've ever seen. Our defense would score touchdowns, literally, right? And we had Kyle Bowler, and he will always just mess it up for us every time. And I kept thinking, man, if we had a good quarterback, nobody could beat us, like, ever. That's how I felt. And we got Steve McNair. It felt that way all throughout the season. Like, nobody could see us. And then we lost to the Colts. Awesome field goals. We didn't even give a touchdown in the game. They kicked 5 field goals and we lost. I was so disappointed. But this is kind of how it feels, but better.
Yeah.
They
they're easily the best defense in the league. They don't have the best offense in the league, but you have the MVP. You've got some playmakers on that offense. Wish they were a bit more consistent, but they are getting Mark Andrews back this week. They said that he is expected to play. Also getting Marlon Humphrey back this week, which would be a boost to an already dominant unit. And I just don't really see. Everything is going to be tough when it's Pat Mahomes on the other side, for sure. And Travis Kelce is still that guy, despite what some people in the chat tried to tell us in the middle of the year that he wasn't elite anymore. Whatever, he's still that guy. Isaiah Pacheco is a good, talented running back. I think it hurts them that Jerick McKinnon's not there. Jerick McKinnon did a lot of damage in the pass game for them, and they're just kind of lacking at that wide receiver spot. They're lacking on the outside. Rashee Rice has come on, but not a guy that you're really afraid of. And then you got Marcus Valdez-Scantling. You got Kadarius Toney, who's injured. I'm not sure if he's going to make it back. Sky Moore is sick right now. Mecole Hardman, he had 1 touch and 2 fumbles somehow. So you're not afraid of any of these guys. Joe Thuney being out, like Raven Ron said, is going to be a problem for their interior going up against Madubuike and Jones and Pierce and Washington. So I think this is just kind of not the end of the run for the Chiefs, but it's going to take them into a new era where it's them in Baltimore as opposed to just them.
Yeah. I mean, if we're being real about it, if you look at the Chiefs, I mean, defense, excellent defense, right? It's being overshadowed by how dominant the Ravens have been this year. And, like the Browns had a great defense this year. So it's being overshadowed by those defenses, but they're right there.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very good defense. But you look at them and say, we should win, but they have that guy over there. All right. That guy that Brodny calls Michael Jordan, right? He's the MJ of this league. Now, I don't fully agree because he said it's Mahomes and everybody else comes after that, but he's wrong. It's Mahomes and Lamar and everybody else comes after them.
Yeah. Like I said on the Ravens roundup this week, Mahomes gives the Chiefs an advantage over everybody they play, regardless of the rest of the roster, except for Baltimore, because Baltimore has that other guy.
Yeah, and we talked about it on Coach's Show on Monday. You look at that Chiefs game against the Bills. I mean, they had almost half the time of possession as the Bills. It didn't matter. Like, we only need a couple minutes to get these points up. And the funny thing is, the way they lost is how people are going to remember the game, missing the field goal, right? But that field goal was only to tie, and there's still like 1:45 seconds left on the clock. What do you think was going to happen there?
They were going to lose.
They were going to lose.
And you mentioned Brodny, and I'm going to talk about something else that he mentioned, kind of going off track a little bit.
Yeah.
But about that game, talk about Josh Allen and the reaction to Josh Allen, because the reaction had been he's going to get there eventually. Rex Ryan, he's going to land that hook eventually. And the sentiment is, he's going to get a Super Bowl at some point, right?
Yeah.
Despite him never beating Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. And then you look on the other side, and it's, man, Lamar better win. Yeah. Lamar better win, or everything else he's done is nothing, right? Yeah. And it's hilarious to me because Josh Allen has done nothing.
Right.
But lose in the playoffs. Like, he doesn't have any individual accomplishments, and he gets to the playoffs, and and Grant, I'm not saying those losses are his fault, his 14 seconds and whatnot, but it's just it's wild, the difference in the way people react to those two players.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a fair assumption to say that he's going to get there sometime. He's got at least 2 better quarterbacks than him who are in that same age bracket as him, and probably, honestly, more than that. Jim Harbaugh was just hired by the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert is just as good, if not better, than Josh Allen. Joe Burrow, I think, is probably better than Josh Allen. We'll see on Anthony Richardson. He looked good early, but I think he is the Josh Allen type, but more athletic, right? And we all kind of expected Trevor Lawrence to be better, but we'll see how that goes next year.
All right. I mean, I'm so up and down with Josh Allen, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know if Burrow's better than Josh Allen right now, right? Like, if you asked me last year, I'd be like, yeah, he's better. But we say this about Josh Allen. What is he without Stephon Diggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can ask that about Joe Burrow. What is he without Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? We're gonna find out what he is without T. Higgins. I don't know. I don't know. Who would I pick in the draft? I would probably pick Josh Allen over Joe Burrow, if I'm being honest. Let me read these comments real quick. Hold on. Let me read these comments. First of all, shout out to Rome MVP for subscribing. Salute to you. Also, shout out to Money Making Mitch for the 333 donation. Also, I want to give a shout out to my friend Justin. I saw you liking the page over on Facebook. Appreciate you. My old friend Justin, man. Shout out to you. Money Making Mitch says, I'm sorry, but I watched the Chiefs this year, and I just don't see how we don't win by at least 10. Any given Sunday, but I just don't see it. I understand what you're saying. But this is what the Chiefs, this is what championship caliber teams do. They don't put it all into the regular season, right? Exactly what you're saying right there is how they want you to think. They want you to think, man, they ain't got nothing for us. And then they go out there and they got everything for you, right?
Right. Like I said, it's exactly what Bills fans thought, right? They want you to think that, hey, they don't have any receivers and that Travis Kelce is washed and your quarterback's better than Mahomes because it was just all the talent around him. And then Kelce goes out there and has a couple touchdowns and the defense, does their thing in the end. And you don't measure up. Because like I said, they're not taking the regular season as seriously as teams who haven't won.
Yeah.
Teams who haven't won, in Baltimore included, you want to get that home field advantage. You want to get that week off. You want to prove that you're the top team. And Kansas City knows they're the top team.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to be tough to knock off. And also shout out to Agent E. I ain't see any comment in here, Agent E, but you left a 333 tip. You had something that you wanted to say. Just put it in the chat. I know what Agent E is doing here. I know what he's doing. He wants those points. Points. And shout out to Bazel for the 27 donation. Okay, you guys are hitting the you guys are finding the super chat just fine. He says the way my points is set up. Hey. Okay, for those of you who don't know, because we have 118 people in here over on a combination of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. All right. So wherever you're watching this, hit that like button. Also subscribe. All right. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. But if you don't know what these points are, can you see people typing exclamation points like J the 6 is right here? Everybody that is watching this on YouTube right now, everybody that's watching on YouTube, you're getting points just for watching. If you're participating in the chat, you get more points. If you donate, you get a lot more points. If you sign up to our Patreon, you get a lot more points. Okay. If you sign up for our newsletter, hasn't come out yet, but if you sign up, LBHTShow.com, LBHTShow.com, that's an automatic 1,000 points. What do all these points do? At the end of every month, we give away a prize for the person with the most points. Okay. That prize varies. We kind of let you pick what the prize is within a certain dollar amount. And then we do a second prize. We do a drawing. Anybody that has at least 1,000 points gets entered into a drawing. We spin a wheel, and whoever wins gets a $25 Amazon gift card. This is every month. All right. So those are ways that you can get points. Okay. That's the leaderboard right here. Bazel is at the top. Yolanda B is not that far away. Okay. Fair's not that far away. Okay. These three right here, they play for keeps. All right.
Now the reality is, I want to mention, the reality is those top three, you might want to just kind of wipe them out because this is on me. Okay. And I want to take full responsibility and apologize. I did not reset the points in January. So a lot of those points were from December for those top three.
Okay.
Now Bazel, obviously, he used donate, so he's got some points in there, but we're gonna make them ineligible. We're gonna start at number 4.
Wow, that's not me. That's
not ineligible, but we're wiping out those point totals for the top three.
You can give them a few. Yeah, we'll work something out.
Yes.
We'll work something out. Also, submitting questions. We have submitted questions section segment of the show. If you read your question on air, you get points for that as well. Answering our trivia at the end of the show. Some of you guys leave right before trivia starts. That's insane. You leave right before trivia time, okay? And you miss out on some. I mean, they're not always easy, but you miss out on some easy questions, and that's extra points. See, Yolanda doesn't want to hear that.
I'm going to reset the points on the first, Agent E. Don't worry. I don't think you want me to reset it right now. You just cost 1,000.
All right. Attitude Pop, what's going on? Says, you see where Shady and them speak said even if Lamar win a Super Bowl, he will still never be close to Pat. If you look at Lamar and Pat resume together, it's closer than you think. Why do you listen to them?
Right.
I mean, everybody over there is trying to follow the Skip model. Hate no matter what. Pick a person and hate on them. All right. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. Okay. In fact, the more nonsensical it sounds, the more people will talk about it. Okay. Yeah. Don't fall for that. Shady. I ain't got nothing against Shady, but he ain't worth listening to. All right.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know who that is. But no, but attitude, you are right. It is closer than people think. Pat's always going to have better numbers just because of the styles of offenses they've run up to this point in their careers. But Lamar is a 2-time MVP, and Mahomes is a 2-time MVP. If he wins the Super Bowl, Mahomes is a 2-time Super Bowl champ. Lamar will be a 1-time Super Bowl champ, which is more of a team thing than an individual thing anyway, right? But, I mean, if the Ravens finish this off, I mean, honestly, already, but especially if the Ravens finish this off and get that Super Bowl win, both of those guys are already 6 and 7 years into their career Hall of Famers.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, yeah, like you said, right now it's already that way. I mean, we all assume Lamar's getting the second MVP. I can't see a 2-time MVP winner not being in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
You know, so they're both destined to a Hall of Fame already. And we all here believe that the Ravens will pull it off. They will they'll finish the season with the Super Bowl, and that's just more to his resume. You have 2 young quarterbacks with, you know, one Super Bowl on one side, 2 on the other, MVPs on the resume, and really the talk is just them. This is the new Brady and Manning, right? Yeah. But better,
right?
Because it took Manning a while to win one.
Well, because they're both just better players than those guys. Marco G says ineligible points down the field. Brodny 25-yard penalty, automatic points for everyone. Listen, automatic points for everyone doesn't do anything for anybody, Marco. Okay, but I'll tell you what, since it was my mistake, I will, when I reset the points, I'll give everybody who shows up on that first Wednesday of February 500-point bonus.
There you go. All right, show up on next Wednesday. Is it next Wednesday?
Yeah, and let me be more specific. Everyone who is there on the first Wednesday of February when we get to the trivia question. So if you're in the live chat when we do the trivia question, you get an automatic 500.
All right, that trivia question comes at the end of the show. All right, it comes at the end of the show. That's almost 2 hours in. Okay, we don't go exactly 2 hours because this is hashtag no 2 hours, but we get dangerously close to it. All right. And some of you, I mean, I feel bad for you guys because you're here the whole show, and then as soon as we say trivia time, you log off and you missed a chance at some points there. Okay, stay to the end. You came that far.
Like you don't even want the Amazon gift card. You know what an Amazon gift card, a $25 Amazon gift card will get you? I just bought something on Amazon today for $20. It was the one-piece ramen bowl. It's, you know, color like the guy's hat from the show. I never even seen the show, but it was on sale, and I got it. If you had stayed and answered some trivia questions and won that Amazon gift card, you could have got that for free and had $5 left over.
There you go. Also, sign to our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right, I plugged it earlier. We do a show after this show. If you guys are enjoying this, and I know you guys are. We have the overtime show, which happens right after this show, and this is what we're discussing. We're going to discuss some more playoffs, but you know, we got some coaching moves. All right, Jim Harbaugh says, "I'm back, baby." Okay, Bill Belichick says, "Hey, man, my calendar's free, my line is open. Okay, call me. All right.
I always love the point to the sky, like, let's give God credit, like point to the sky, like I knew God didn't love Washington.
That's right.
What are we doing?
He's fine. He finally smited them. Hey, shout out to Brent. Says love y'all. Love you too, Brent. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming through. No, it says that's a fireball, B.
That's right. That's right. No.
Super Brother says no rushing numbers. Lamar will always be better than Pat.
Yeah, of course.
Like, so yes, this is it. All right. Can't sleep on them. They're gonna come in there playing tough. As good as our defense is, don't be surprised if they put up a couple touchdowns on us. Mm-hmm. I just don't think. I think our defense has a composure. Right. This is what's different about this team as a whole. We have the composure. If a team gets up on us early, no sweat. Right. We can answer. Like, they have that confidence. We'll stay in the game. That defense, okay, we're getting scored on here a little bit. We gotta make some adjustments. They will figure it out. I mean, their worst game is probably the Rams game. We went to overtime. The Rams are very talented, but towards the end, they were, they tightened up a little bit. All right. Shout out to Anonymous for a $10 donation. Appreciate you. Says, greetings. How many passing TDs will Great have? Lamar.
I'm going to say that he's going to be passing a lot in this game. I'm going to say that Kansas City goes up early and has Ravens fans feel a little scared. We'll getting the tension going, I think they go up maybe by 10. And then Lamar and the Ravens are playing catch up, so he's going to be throwing a lot. And I'm going to say that he finishes with 3 passing touchdowns.
What's funny? I think he's going to finish with 3 passing touchdowns, but I think they're going to run a lot. I think his yards are going to be similar to the last game. He's going to have about, 180 maybe passing yards, but I think he's going to have 3 passing touchdowns. He's going to have a lot of rushing yards. I think we're going to have, as a team, a lot of rushing yards because they're not that good at stopping the run, right? I think they'll play the run. They'll play the run better. Like what they did against the Bills was by design, I think, right? Let them run. Just don't give up anything deep because that's kind of their tendency. They're going to want to do play action and take shots down the field, talking about the Bills, and they wanted to shut that down. For the Ravens, I think what most people, when they see Lamar, they don't think he's going to, kill us deep. So they'll play up a little bit. They'll try to stop the run, but Lamar can kill you deep, right? Yeah. Like that's the thing that's so frustrating about playing this version of the Ravens is if we play too close, he'll throw it down the field to Zay or Odell. They'll make the catches. Then we got to play back. Then he's got all that the underneath, right? Or he can run it. Like, it's just hard to game plan for that, no matter how good your defense is. What comment you reading, B? You laughing at something?
Just he don't like my scenario at all. And look, as somebody who's not a Ravens fan, the 2 best outcomes for me, I mean, obviously I'm rooting for the Ravens, are an absolute blowout for Baltimore. That would be fun to watch. Even though I like Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, that'd be fun. Or the Chiefs being ahead and a comeback win for Baltimore, which is just going to be very dramatic. Yes. I'd like to see either one of those. I think it'll be the latter.
Yeah. Shout out to Marco G for the 333 donation. Appreciate y'all. Says, can you imagine Jim Harbaugh hiring Greg Roman and G-Ro calling plays for Herbert? Ooh. Well, okay, look, I don't want to give away too much because we're talking about that in the overtime show, but the rumor is he's going to bring a lot of his people from Michigan. I don't think G-Ro was on that staff. Greg Roman is so bad. He's at home chilling. Okay. I'm sure he'll tell you that's by choice. That ain't by choice, bro. Your phone is not ringing like that.
No, that's by choice. Like he could get a high school job if he wanted.
You had me joking there a little bit. Hold on.
No, I mean I'm sure that there are places. He wants a certain caliber of job, a certain tier. He don't want to go down and be coaching Portland State, or whatever. So yeah, I'm sure people have called him, and he said, "No, thank you. You're not good enough for G-Row."
People in the NFL, or you
No.
talking about
I
college?
mean, I'm talking about like smaller colleges and things like that. I'm sure they've called, and he's like, "No, I'm not interested in that."
I think the last time he was interviewed, he said something about being a consultant for a school, right?
I don't know. I don't listen to Great Roman's interviews.
He's done being. I think he's done being anything more than like a position coach in the NFL.
Yeah.
He'll be back in the NFL if he wants to, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But not as a coordinator. I can't see. He's too predictable. Tom Munkin. Speaking of Tom Munkin, I heard the Panthers had interviewed him.
Yeah, they interviewed him, and then they sent him back to Baltimore.
Yeah. I think Tom Munkin's not going anywhere. He's going to be here, and that's fine. He's fine. Like, again, not my number one choice, but he's fine. I think another. Yeah, a lot of it is him just listening to Lamar, what he likes to do, drawing the plays that that works for him, right, and letting Lamar just take the reins. He doesn't get in the way.
That's the biggest part of being a good coach is playing to your players' strengths, right, and making it a collaborative effort as opposed to pretending you're an authority figure when you're really the OC and he could have you fired every
day. Right. Yeah. And I think, okay, they come back next year, they're going to have another great season together. And from there, Tom Munkin will get the calls that he's looking for. So, it's everything's working out. Everything's working out. Mike McDonald's the big question mark, who's going to scoop him up, because I think somebody's going to scoop him up the way this defense is playing. So, yeah, score predictions. I mean, we can give it now. We can wait until the conference championship.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait.
Okay.
There's only the 2 games.
Okay. All right. So we're about 42 minutes in. All right. For those of you who don't know, this is a Ravens and Panthers show. You should assume that much by the thumbnail. That's why half of it's blue, half of it's purple. All right. B is a Panthers fan. I'm a Ravens fan. All right. The Panthers segments have gotten a little bit shorter because wasn't a great season. The offseason is starting to pick up now, though, B.
Yes.
All right. David Tepper said things have changed a little bit right here. Okay. All right. We're cleaning house. Okay. We're hiring a consulting firm. All right. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do things the right way. And we're going to listen to that consulting firm and make, and hiring our next GM. And hey, what do you know? They said, look in-house, look inwards. All right. Dan Morgan, B, how do you feel about Dan Morgan getting the general manager position?
I don't feel about Dan Morgan getting the general manager position. I mean, look, you have to give him a chance to do the job, right? Like, we don't know for sure how involved he was in any of the various signings or picks or trades. We just know he was the assistant GM, right? You don't know. Maybe he was in the room banging the table to keep Baker Mayfield, right? Maybe he was in there saying, hey, don't give up DJ Moore. You don't need to give up DJ Moore to move up. Maybe he was saying draft CJ Stroud or draft Anthony Richardson. We don't know.
Yeah.
So we got to wait and see on that. I'm not excited, I'll tell you that. But it doesn't matter. So that's that. He's a franchise legend. Everybody loves him. So that's cool. It's nice to see. And it's not like he was just brought back, to the Panthers. And he's worked in for other teams, and he's been doing this for a while, scouting and working in the front office. So I mean, it's fine. The big thing is that they're finishing up the head coaching interviews, or at least it seemed like they were finishing them up. They are having second interviews with Raheem Morris, their current defensive coordinator, Evero, and Dave Canales from Tampa Bay. And just found out a little while ago that they are going to be interviewing Mike Vrabel, I believe tomorrow as well. I assumed that it was going to be between those first 3 that I mentioned. Didn't know that they were still talking to Vrabel. I would not really be thrilled with a Mike Vrabel hiring.
How y'all feel about Mike Vrabel? I'm not sure.
I think he just. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but he just kind of strikes me as a not going to get you there but will somehow try to make himself look good and put the blame on somebody else, coach. Don't really want that. Don't want that guy.
I see a lot of Ron Rivera in him. And I know Ron Rivera made it to a Super Bowl. That was a magical year, and he had a special quarterback.
2-time coach of the year.
Yeah. He has some of that in him, right? Where he can make it seem tough. He's a fake Dan Campbell.
Imagine somebody a couple of years ago telling you a coach is a fake Dan Campbell and having it be an insult.
He can make his teams competitive, but like you said, like can you win with him? I just get that feeling like you can't. And I don't know. I don't think Vrabel's the right coach. I look at him. I don't know. You need to get a coach that is all in on developing Bryce Young.
Yes, and maybe it was just how these guys got to Tennessee, but he was not all in on Malik Willis, and I don't believe he was all in on Will Levis either. I mean, it seemed like he gave up on Malik Willis after essentially one game.
Right.
And you know, I don't know how he felt about Will Levis, but it didn't seem like he wanted Will Levis to be the guy either.
I think that's probably why he's gone.
Probably. I think that's probably a big part of it. Yeah, and he doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to be good for the development of Bryce Young. I want the answer to be Dave Canales out of Tampa Bay. I think he's a bright young guy, and I think, you know, an up and coming coach. He's done a great job as the offensive coordinator for Tampa. He did good work in Seattle as well. I would also not at all be upset with Raheem Morris, who has been a head coach before. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So people don't really remember, but he won 10
Bucks,
games.
Right?
Yeah, he won 10 games in Tampa. He's been a defensive coordinator. He's coached on the offensive side of the ball as well. He was on, I mean, listen, again, slight derail, but you want to talk about fumbling the bag. You ever seen the staff that Washington had in 2013?
Yeah.
They had Sean McVay, they had Slowick, they had Raheem Morris. They had, I think it was like 3 other current head coaches.
Zach Taylor, right?
I believe Zach Taylor was one of them. They had Matt LaFleur was coaching in Green Bay. Like, it's an all-star cast. Yeah. And they didn't get out of one of them.
Man, I mean, you talk about a poverty franchise.
Yes.
Jeez. Killer says, get Bryce out of Carolina. No, he's going to be fine now. He's going to be fine. All right. They're going to work things out over there. But, you know, we'll see. Zune Jones says the Dolphins fired their defensive coordinator. McDaniels is next. What? They come to Baltimore for a coach.
Oh, yeah. Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel as well on that staff.
Yes. That's right. That's right. You think Mike McDaniels is getting fired?
No, Mike McDaniel not getting fired.
No, I think he's doing a very good job over there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just Al says, I see a lot of Wayne Fonts in Vrabel. Wow. Just Al always showing his age.
Hey, don't do that. I remember Wayne Fonts.
You're showing your age. I don't know who that is.
the old Lions coach. You know who it is. Don't do that. The dude who looked like the guy you would hire if you were trying to cast a head coach on a sitcom.
Yeah. Jada 6 says, if we hire Vrabel, are we going to draft a 6'2" running back? Are there any 6'2" running backs in the draft?
Jay's so obsessed with how tall people are, man. It don't matter, Jay.
Size is not a skill, Jay. Size is not a skill. We still have over 100 people in here, man. Hit that like button. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. You guys want to stay tuned for the next segment after this, okay? We do a segment called Court of Public Opinion. All right. This is where we put some people on trial and you guys decide guilty or not guilty. All right. That's coming next. Filthy, what's going on? Filthy says the media is already trying to downplay it. Lamar beats Mahomes and wins the Super Bowl. They'll completely disregard Lamar's year and attribute it to he has a loaded roster and all-time great defense. it's never going to change. He can win 3 in a row, and they'll make up something. But what I do want to talk about is the pivot. A lot of these yes, Roquan that like button, hit it. A lot of pivot that a lot of these analysts and personalities have made.
I know, Jay. I'm just messing with you.
But like, it's one thing to say, I got it wrong. He's good, right? I'm seeing a lot of that from Colin Cowherd on the clips out there. He just says, hey, look, I said a lot of things. It's just wrong. Whatever, right? That's fine. It's funny, right? It's easy to say, I got it wrong. He's actually really good, and you move on. But some people hold on to it, and some people just lie about what they say or just act like they never said it. Like Shannon Sharp, okay? Yes, the host of Club Shay. I like Shannon Sharp. Okay, I like his show with Ocho Cinco Nightcap. Okay, I think it's great chemistry. I like what they're doing. I don't like him on ESPN. I mean, get your money and get the hell out of there. Right, stay far away from Stephen A. Smith, because I know Stephen A. Smith put you up to a lot of that stuff. I mean, some of that is from you. I think you're hating a little bit on Lamar. You're hating a little bit, but I mean, we all heard you say, along with Stephen A. Smith, that he wasn't worth his contract. You said that after like what, 3 games, right? He had a bad game against or 4 games. He had a bad game against the Steelers. Right, we had like 9 drop passes, and you guys were like, "Oh, that's no excuse." Right? You said he wasn't worth his contract. You guys said that. Now you guys are completely flipping the script. I mean, Stephen A. just lies a lot. He'll sit there and say, "I didn't say that," but you did. But I don't know. I just don't. I don't like that. I don't like that. All right. Back to the Panthers and Dan Morgan, who I'm not happy with. I'm not happy with that hiring. I'm not saying he's going to be bad, but it just tells you that Tepper didn't learn anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible optics at the very least, right? Because this was your assistant GM. He was in the room for everything that you did this offseason, and you fired everybody else, right? They just got rid of Samir Suleiman, who was working in the front office. Obviously, you fired the GM, you fired the head coach. So you said what happened this offseason was unacceptable. Let's hire the assistant. And it doesn't make any sense from that standpoint. But look, again, it doesn't mean that he's going to be bad at his job. It just doesn't look good. And honestly, it's like, why did you waste everyone's time interviewing all of these GM candidates? Like, you cast a wide net for GM, and then you went with the guy who was sitting next to you the whole time.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see how he actually performs. And it's going to take a couple years since they don't have a top pick this year. And it's going to take a little while to rebuild this roster.
Yeah. Spooky J says Chris Broussard and Keyshawn Johnson are his 2 favorite media personalities right now. Wrong. No, he's wrong. He got it wrong. He meant to say is Jose and Brodny from Lunch Break Hot Take. Now, we're not if you meant mainstream media, okay, we're not mainstream media.
I mean, we're pretty mainstream, right? Like,
I mean,
we're the biggest streaming platform there is.
I mean, facts. Facts. And we are the premier nano influencers in this game. All right.
That's
right. A very disrespectful category that we've been put into, but we are nano influencers technically. If you want to help get us out of being nano influencers, you hit that subscribe button, okay, so we can change our status. And the next status up is micro. It's not that much better.
Nano sounds better to me than micro, but whatever. Thank you for the very disrespectful comments, Bookie.
You two say we're a little speck of nothing.
But yeah, no, I think that they have a lot of really, really good candidates in the head coaching pool. So I don't think that there's really a way to go wrong there unless you hire Mike Vrabel. So I'm excited to see where they go. I still think it's going to be Dave Canales. I'm going to be excited about that. But yeah, it could be a long road.
Yeah.
Long road back.
Yeah.
Or it could be a short road. I mean, look at Houston.
It's going to be a very interesting offseason. We're going to be talking a lot about the Panthers and Wolves. We have to put it out there. We have to let them know that we're watching them. Okay. All right, we gotta let David Tepper know. Like, one, we didn't forgive you for throwing that drink on the fan. All right, that's not okay. Assaulting people because you threw a rich man's fit.
Like, my thing is like, okay, if dude was talking trash to you or something like that, I wouldn't even be that mad. Like, give your apology, give him some tickets, do whatever.
Yeah,
but like, you did it just because you were angry about the team that you made. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, and it's too late, right? Like, you've been bad for a few weeks. Like, why there on the road? Yeah,
years you've been bad for. Just, I mean, terrible, just terrible.
All right, okay. Look, you ready for some court of public opinion?
I am ready for some court of public opinion.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, court of public opinion, we're gonna put somebody on trial. Usually two people on trial, or one person, right? It's usually something that you see in social media, something that's trending. All right, and we kind of state the facts. Sometimes we represent either side. Make a case for either one. Although I'm not sure we're gonna. I think we're both on the same side on this one, but we're gonna state all the facts. Okay, and then you guys are going to decide guilty or not guilty. Shout out to Living Legend in the house. Salute to you for a 420 donation. Says support for dope content. Hey, thank you. All right, y'all don't go anywhere. All right, you ready? You ready to fire? Are you ready? Are you ready to get court session?
Stop it.
She was innocent.
No, she was not.
She was.
Hey, first of all, you don't find people innocent in court. You find them guilty or not guilty. And she was guilty. Okay.
You can find them innocent.
No, but they don't find them innocent. They find them guilty or not guilty.
If there's overwhelming proof that beyond a reasonable doubt that they are innocent, they can be found innocent.
Nobody does that.
She was found innocent,
and not a single person said that. Not one.
All right. Fire it up. I just want you guys to know that every time we play that intro, YouTube takes money from us, literally. And they're going to be here. They're going to be in court. They shouldn't be taking money from us. Okay. They hit us with fake copyright claims. We have a right to use this.
Yes.
All right. So YouTube, if you're watching, stop it. Stop it. Cease and desist. All right. Okay. Court of public opinion is look. All rise. Okay. The court is now in session. All right. RG3 versus Jay Gruden. You guys have heard about this. All right. You heard about the back and forth. What is going on with this? How did this start? All right. I have a couple of graphics up here. Right. I can't remember what game that was being played that caused Jay Gruden to tweet this out. Let's take this banner down because you can't. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Jay Gruden down on the bottom there. First of all, it's already starting out bad for Jay Gruden. What are you doing on Twitter?
Jay can't be on Twitter?
No.
Come on, man.
No.
Jay said, if I ever put a quarterback through what Philly is putting Jalen through, I apologize. Pick up a blitz. There's a couple things wrong with this. Okay. Now, there's one thing right with it. There is. I'm all for any coaches or players kind of, taking shots at themselves a little bit. That's cool. That's funny. Self-deprecating humor. It brings us all closer. Mm-hmm. But you know damn well you put somebody through it. And the other part is why are you calling it out like this? Jalen Hurts is a fraud.
He's not a fraud. Okay, I object. Okay, let's have that stricken from the record. Jalen Hurts. You are not a fraud, sir. All right, I still believe in you. But I mean, how? All right, okay. Let's just go through these, and then we'll circle back because I don't want to influence the jury just yet. Okay. But okay, it obviously. What's up, Ferris? He's not a fraud, Ferris. I mean,
he said a massive fraud.
You guys, you're a Giants fan. You guys believe in Danny Dimes. Get out of here. All right, order. Choking under bright lights. Get out of my face. All right. So of course RG3 says, "Say what? Say what? Okay. I mean,
with
he said,
a very sassy look.
Okay, I can understand RG3, shock there. If I ever put a QB through it, you've only coached 2 QBs.
And you put them both through it. You handled one of them with kid gloves, and the other was RG3.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the first one. All right. Let's go to the next tweet. Jay says, "You weren't prepared, Robert." All right. And Robert responds, "You told me you didn't know how to coach a QB who could throw and run like me. So it looks like you weren't prepared, Jay." And I love these pictures he's posting.
I love RG3 media personality. I do.
He is
very entertaining.
Very entertaining. He's got it. All right. He's got it. All right. Which is another reason why Jay was destined to lose this battle. Okay. So right here, because Jay went on a local radio station in DC over here, 106.7 The Fan. And I don't like most of those people over there, but he went on there and just started dogging Robert Griffin, basically saying he just wasn't good. That's just the reality. He just wasn't a good quarterback. He said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, Kirk Cousins was better, and that's kind of proven, itself to be the case. So he didn't know what RG3 was fussing about, right? So RG3 in this clip, I didn't watch the whole thing. This is from his podcast. He basically is talking about a time where Jay Gruden threw him under a bus, right? Jay Gruden told him after a game to kind of call out his team to the media, right? And he would have his back, and that's what he did. And teammates didn't like it, and Jay went out there and just said, "Yeah, no, he shouldn't have said that." And RG3 was like, "What? Well, you told me to say that." Right. So Jay Gruden responds to that clip. He says, "You really want to play this game? I don't even know what that means. That is the most that is the weakest. That is the weakest threat I've that's the most thinly veiled threat I've ever seen." Okay. And RG3 says, "I'm not playing any games. I'm retired. You have a free invite to come on the show and discuss face to face. I know where all your bodies are buried, Jay. Don't play with me." Okay. And it's true. You can't win this, Jay. You cannot win this. What are you going to say about RG3 that hasn't been? Athletes are always being scrutinized, right? Their life is always under a microscope. You're not going to put anything out there that hasn't been leaked out there already, especially in Washington, because all you guys do is leak stuff out there.
Yeah.
Right? Now, for you, Jay. All right. You guys don't remember when Jay was at the bar
couldn't handle it.
At the one of the games, right?
Yeah.
He didn't like that. He was outside just trying to
get his Urban Meyer on, and somebody had a camera, and Jay did not like that at all.
He did not like that. Okay, that was a tiny snippet of the life of Jay. Now you think RG3 may not know a little bit more about you? Okay, how you roll. Right. Mm-hmm. And of course, obviously, he could talk about the stories in the locker room. And Will Compton, who also has a podcast, we got to talk about this too, man. I don't like these athletes encroaching in our area here, our podcast area. All right. But he didn't really want to take sides, but he's just like, look, it was a little spicy when Jay was there. Things got a little spicy. You could tell there's some friction between him and RG3, right? Basically saying, yeah, Jay Gruden just, he didn't do any favors for RG3. Everybody knew that. That was a worst kept secret that, you favored Kirk Cousins. And really, the Shanahans before that favored Kirk Cousins. They didn't want to draft RG3, which is why they should have been fired from the jump.
Yeah.
You spend all that draft capital to move up and get RG3. That's your guy. And he showed you he could be the guy. And he got hurt, and you just kind of dumped him to the side and didn't really invest in him. So we can sit here and talk about why Kirk Cousins has had the better career, right? Because ultimately, you're going to see a lot of people say, yeah, Jay Gruden he's right. Kirk Cousins was just a better quarterback. RG3 just didn't pan out. But I would argue At the time, Kirk Cousins wasn't anywhere close to RG3, and he panned out because you developed him and you wouldn't develop RG3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a rookie, RG3 came in. He had a little over 4,000 total yards, 27 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He had 12 fumbles. I'm not sure exactly how many were lost, but he was a very good passer. He won Rookie of the Year. They won 10 games that season. He won 9. He missed 1 game. They went to the playoffs, and it was RG3's world at that point, right? And like you said, Kirk Cousins early on in his career was terrible.
Yeah.
One of the worst quarterbacks you've ever seen. That's not an exaggeration. He turned the ball over at an astronomical rate. But like you said, they stuck with him. They developed him. They protected him in the media. I remember one game against Atlanta, went to overtime, and he threw what turned out to be a game-losing pick six on an out route because he threw it too far inside. And Jay Gruden got in front of the media and was like, it's pretty windy out there.
Yeah, the wind took it. Some nonsense like that.
So yeah, like RG3 had the talent, but it's well documented that the Shanahans did not want him to be a pocket passer. He went to them and said that he wanted to run less and just throw from the pocket more. They didn't want to do that. Then he got hurt. They put him back in the game injured, and he tore his ACL in the playoffs. And, even when he came back from that against Jacksonville, he was rolling out one play and just had a freak accident with his ankle and was hurt there and missed a lot of time and never really recovered. Right. But they took years to develop Kirk Cousins into the mediocre quarterback that you see today. Yeah. I don't agree with Jay that he was just the better player and blah blah blah. It's you all the Shanahans and Jay derailed RG3 very early in his career. You weren't looking out for the what was best for him long term, and yeah, he never recovered from it, and it's unfortunate. As far as this Twitter beef, man, like, look, he may be right. Like, let's just say he's right. Hey, Robert,
who's right?
Let's say that Jay's right, that Robert was just not as good, and he can't deal with that fact. Blah blah blah. You're not as good at talking as RG3 is. You're going to lose that every single time. All he had to do when Robert posted that first picture, and say what? All he had to do was ha ha ha. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, bro. It's over with.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm sorry, Robert. Right? Yeah, that's it. That's it. You put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
You put yourself out there. If I ever done it to a quarterback, we know you did that to a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? So when he responds, that's your chance to say, my bad, man. I should have handled that better. Or whatever.
And,
right?
and you can laugh at it and it's fine. And RG3's not going to take it any further than that. And just the audacity to take shots at RG3's ability on the field. Well, Jay Gruden was also a quarterback. Jay Gruden wasn't a quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, he didn't make it as a quarterback, and he didn't make it as a coach.
And Jay put another tweet out there that he later deleted. Right there, this post has been deleted at the bottom. It says, "You aren't good enough. Kirk was better. Cleveland didn't want you. Baltimore did." He meant to say didn't. Baltimore didn't either. Quit blaming me. You were, I thought you were the coach. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing too, right? Because you're getting offended because he's questioning you as a coach, and you're saying, well, you just weren't a good quarterback. But let's talk about you as a coach, right? He right there, he said Cleveland didn't want you, Baltimore didn't either. Meaning, once he left Washington, he played for Cleveland, he played for Baltimore, mostly as a backup, and got cut, right? Mm-hmm. Where did Jay go? Where did Jay Gruden go after Washington?
To Twitter.
Right. Never to be seen as a head coach again. So what kind of coach were you, Jay Gruden? Why you want to sit there and go on 106.7 and talk about how RG3 wasn't that good of a quarterback and Kirk was better and he made the right choice? Well, did you make the right choice? Because Kirk didn't get you any more jobs. You didn't win a playoff game with Kirk while he was there. Kirk Cousins only won one playoff game in his career. Okay, he's been playing for a while now. He's won one playoff game, and it wasn't with Washington. It was with Minnesota. And, I mean, your teams were just, average at best. Okay. What did you win? Then you end up getting fired. Where'd you go after that? Because that's really what we're talking about. You put yourself out there as a coach, right?
Yeah, and he coached as an offensive coordinator in Jacksonville for 1 year, was fired. And then he was an offensive consultant a couple years later for the Rams, and that was it. So yeah, he was under 500. He was let go from Washington. Washington didn't want you. Jacksonville didn't either. The Rams didn't either, right? So that's the thing. Like when you're trying to make it personal like that and go after his success, then you open it up to, well, you were even less successful than RG3 was, and at least he can point to the backstabbing coaches and injuries as the reason why his career didn't turn out the way it did, because it started off very promising. He was the rookie of the year. He did take you to that team to the playoffs. Not you, Jay, because you're not good. But you don't have anybody to blame, right?
That's the thing.
You got your job because your big brother won a Super Bowl, right?
That's the thing. You're saying you made the right choice, but the right choice that you made didn't save you from getting fired. What happened?
Yeah, you're a coach in the NFL because your big brother was a coach in the NFL. Very successful coach in the NFL. You got your shot, you failed, and didn't get another shot because everybody said, okay, well, we spun the nepotism wheel for the Grudens once. Now let's move on to someone else.
Yeah. Okay. Put in the chat. Okay, who you voting in favor for? RG3 or Jay Gruden? Okay, just put RG3 or Jay Gruden in the chat. All right, and then we'll wrap up this segment. You've heard the facts. Okay, you've heard our opinions on it. I'm gonna read some of these comments while you put in the chat who you're voting in favor for. No, just Aloe. He's saying this is off topic. We will have order here, sir. So this is off topic, but did you guys notice that all the love for M&T MLK dried up when everyone saw his wholesome wife?
I did notice that.
He didn't ask for that, any of that.
Like, yeah, just leave people alone who is married, man. Like, what is your problem?
They made a meme of him while he was still at the game. He didn't know what was going on.
Right.
You know.
Hey, but you know what? He's going back to the game for free, so you all lost, not him.
Let's see. Living Legend says all the Grudens are guilty. I like this. Jerry says, you like that? You like that? Living Legend says RG3, we've had a phenomenal career. Would have had a phenomenal career if he had the right coaches. Absolutely. I believe so. Right. That injury and just his time in Washington really just derailed him. Yeah. What if RG3 had Jettas, Justin Jefferson,
and Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, Jordan Addison.
Yeah. What if, indeed, instead of Santana Moss, who Santana Moss, I mean, he was a good player. He wasn't that good when RG3, by the time RG3 got there. No. He talked a lot, he talked a lot about his quarterback, right? Yeah. He liked to say a lot of stuff about him, but I ain't see you do anything at that point, Let's see. Could you imagine if RG3 and Justin Jefferson, though? Yeah. Kirk had a better system around him. Kirk barely escaped the incompetence of the Commanders. Yeah, they played it very safe with Kirk Cousins there to keep his stats up, keep his confidence up. But they were never going to win with them. And Minnesota found out the same thing. They're never going to win. All right. The jury has come back. All right. Let's see here. Killer says RG3. Danny says RG3. Jeremy says RG3. Chris White says RG3. All right. IB saying says Jay was a nepotism coach. I have a little secret for you, IB saying. All of the NFL is nepotism. All of the NFL is through nepotism. You show me the job posting for a coaching position in the NFL. Okay. Show me on Indeed or ZipRecruiter where you can apply for a coaching position in the NFL. Can't do it. That's 100% nepotism. Living big with Big Reg says RG3. Ferris RG3. Ravenville RG3. Okay. It looks like it's unanimous here. It's unanimous. I'd be saying said got a coaching job based on relations and not talent. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works.
And I saw your comment here, Ferris. No, he did not steal Andrew Luck's Heisman. He just had a better year.
Yeah. Yeah, facts. All right. That is it. Jay Gruden, you are guilty. You are hereby sentenced to get off of Twitter. Okay.
Yes, he did.
Get off of Twitter and stay off of Twitter. If you want to use a burner, I mean, it's not going to work because you're not good at this. All right. Go on 106.7 and hang out with that crowd if you want, but just shut up. This is the other thing too. I mean, I assume he realizes he's not going to get another coaching job, which is why he's going out there like this. But if you had aspirations of being a coach again, you can forget about those now. You can't go out there and trash a former player like that, right? And he and RG3 has a lot of influence now because he's in the media. Okay, he has relationships with a lot of these players. Okay, he's the likable one, not you. Right? And you go out there and you go on the radio and you're bashing him some more. Players are gonna look at them like, I wouldn't play for him. You know? So Filthy says, you think the Shanahans don't like dual threat QBs because Shanahans want to be known as offensive gurus that can make lesser talent look better, so they choose mid-tier QBs on purpose. It's starting to feel that way because you look at Kyle. I mean, I don't understand why they traded up to get Trey Lance and then just bail on him, right? I feel like he understands that's kind of what you're going to have to. You're going to need an athletic quarterback in today's NFL, but he doesn't really want that.
Yeah, and that's always been out there about Mike Shanahan because he played football and he was not talented, and he was around high level, who went on to be high level NFL quarterbacks when he was playing, and he just that he didn't like those kind of guys, the John Elways who had all of the talent, and he preferred players who were less gifted and were tryhards.
Yeah.
Now, how true that is, I don't know. But that's always been a thing that I've heard about the Shanahans.
All right, we're gonna move over. What do you want to do next? NBA?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. NBA. All right, still got about 100 people in here. Hit that like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. All right, we're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the time Lamar Jackson hoists up the Lombardi Trophy and the Super Bowl MVP. Okay, the only thing that will be missing from that moment is Lunch Break Hot Take hitting 2,000 subscribers. Okay. I'm pretty sure if you go back and look at some of his press conferences, he's mentioned that, right? He might have said it real quick. He might have said something like, get LBHT to 2,000 subscribers. So I'm locked in for this week, right? But if you slow it down, you'll hear him say it. Okay.
And every top QB, when they are holding up that Lombardi, has a companion YouTuber right there with them.
Yeah, right.
And Graven's got enough going on. He don't need that. Let's get Lunch Break Hot Take going on.
Let me change my background for this. Hey, you like that? You like that? All right, this is gonna be a quick segment, but we'll spend a little bit more time on NBA. NBA has been neglected by us a little bit. Doc Rivers. He did it again. I didn't even know why they fired the Bucks fired the coach to begin.
They said that multiple players had lost faith in him. Just Ella says it's hard for black coaches in the NBA. Listen, you can't do that when Doc Rivers is the one that snaked them, right? It's hard for people who are in the sphere of Doc Rivers. No, it's not hard for black coaches in the NBA. It's hard for coaches in the NBA because you honestly don't really matter.
Yeah.
I mean, David Blatt was the coach of the number one team in the Eastern Conference when he got shipped back to was it Turkey or Israel, wherever he came from.
Israel.
So it's difficult. Like you just have to make the top player like you.
That's what it is. At the end of the day, you have to have a relationship with them. Yeah. and win, because I think Giannis liked Budenholzer, but
not at the end. He didn't.
Oh well.
No. I mean, he probably still liked it, but he said, "Get him out of here."
So yes, okay. I wanted to post this because I thought this was very interesting as well. So the Bucks are paying for 3 coaches.
The same exact face.
Yeah, they all look shocked. All right. So Mike Budenholzer, who they fired first, and then they just fired Adrian Griffin, right? And now they hired Doc Rivers. So all 3 of them are getting paid at once. Yeah. And this goes back to a episode. If you go to Open Mic with OTR Mike, that's our guy that we do Ring Kings podcast with. He's got his own podcast. He talked about this for the NFL, how much hundreds of millions of dollars that the NFL, NFL teams spend on coaches who aren't coaching anymore.
Yeah.
Right? They just hire coaches and they fire them, and then they hire somebody else. But these contracts are guaranteed 100%. So they still have to pay out these contracts. I mean the Panthers. I mean they fired your guy in the first year of what, a 4-year deal, 5-year deal?
It was probably 5. But they're paying multiple coaches and multiple quarterbacks.
He has to get paid for the other 4 years. So you think about that. Think about how many coaches the last few years have been fired, right? So you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars the NFL throws away, right, on bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the NBA
doesn't affect the cap, so they don't care.
Right, and same thing in the NBA.
Yeah,
right. But yeah, Doc Rivers. Stay with the job. I am impressed. I am impressed. And you can't even call him, like, we get on Doc Rivers because you're like, well, he's going to choke, but he does have that 1 ring.
Yeah, he has the one. He has the one.
Yeah,
but he is a massive choker. But I think what this really brings up, though, and what it really calls attention to, because Milwaukee, like people are saying in the chat, they are 30-13. They're number 2 in the Eastern Conference, right behind Boston, who's 34-10. And I think that probably played a little bit of a role too. They probably thought bringing in Damian Lillard, they should be number 1. But maybe they thought, hey, Adrian Griffin is not the guy to get us all the way to the title, because again, Giannis knows that now since he has a ring. They thought, hey, Doc Rivers, he has a ton of playoff experience. He can be the guy to get us over the hump. But so you have that situation. They go ahead and make the change. But you look over to the West, and the Lakers are 22-23 and have not fired their head coach. And this is
Darvin Ham next. This is right on time, Buck.
This is perplexing because they're not playing well. And I've heard reports that the players are not feeling Darvin Ham so much,
right?
And it's like,
what are you aiming for?
Maybe you could have hired Doc Rivers. I don't know.
What's up, Antonio? Shout out to my friend Antonio. Appreciate you coming through. He says, "What's up, guys? Happy Hump Day. Is it Sunday yet? Oh man, we're getting there. We're getting there. Appreciate you coming through, man." D Weezy says, "Heard rumors Rivers undermined Griffin as a consultant to the team and his relationship with Giannis." Okay.
Oh, I'm certain they wouldn't have made that move unless they had already been talking to Doc Rivers about being the head coach. So yeah, I'm certain that he played his part in that. But you can't do that, without having the more than Giannis, but most of the team on board with Griffin being gone.
Hey, shout out to Gwendolyn Palmer who's voting in on the Court of Public Opinion. She says RG3. I'm guessing you're probably a little bit, you rewound it a little bit. You're not caught up on the stream. That's okay. I got your vote. Your vote counted. Okay, and you'll be happy to know that RG3 won that case. All right, thanks for coming through. Darvin Spa.
Spam.
Darvin spam. Yeah, Darvin is not well liked, and rightfully so. And it's perplexing why it's taking so long to get him out of that. But this is exactly what happened with David Blatt. Like LeBron was telling them from the year before, I don't like this guy.
Yeah, but they were winning at least. I think that they're probably waiting to make their trade for DeJounte Murray and see if that turns things around. Like give them maybe a week or two, see if that turns things around, and then they'll make their move. But I think just go ahead and make it now.
Yeah, you talk to LeBron. I mean, are we good with him or no? If he says, "No, I don't want him here," there's nothing to talk about. I don't care who you bringing after that. He still has to go. Yeah, they're wasting time. Okay,
they are, but they are currently the 9 seed. So I mean, they can tread water there for a bit, and as long as they make the playoffs, that's really the only thing that matters.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, shout out to Gwendolyn. Hey, appreciate you for that. Did you subscribe? Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Okay. What's next?
Next up, we got submitted questions.
Yeah, submitted questions. Okay, let's speed this up a little bit because we're almost at an hour and a half. Okay, and this is hashtag no 2 hours. If you're still rocking with us, thank you. All right. If you like the show and you want to see some more immediately, okay, right after the show, we're gonna be doing the overtime show, which you can find on our Patreon at patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right, we're gonna be talking some more playoffs. We're gonna be talking, some coaching moves. All right, Jim Harbaugh is out there, looking to get Justin Herbert on the right track. Okay, and Bill Belichick is just looking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all right. So we're gonna discuss that and more. Okay, in case you don't know, the overtime show, we kind of the conversation goes wherever it goes. Okay, we have a list of topics that we talk about at first, and then, you want to talk about movies, shows, whatever. We get into it. It's a lot of fun. If you have as little as $5 in your pocket, it's well worth the investment. It also gives you access to our Discord channel. All right.
Up first, we have Jeremy Miller with the Bills' heartbreaking loss on Sunday. Are they the most cursed NFL franchise?
No.
The answer is no. There are quite a few franchises who have never won a Super Bowl. They went to 4 straight. They have a franchise quarterback. They're in the playoffs every year. They're kind of in it. So no, they're not the most cursed NFL franchise. They just haven't won like a lot of other teams. Honestly, I feel like I want to say the most cursed NFL franchise or fan base is any Dallas Cowboys fan under the age of like 33.
No, it's still the Browns. It's the Browns.
I can't get with the Browns. I can't get with the Browns because they're dirtbags.
The fans?
Yes.
They're no different than any other fan base.
They're not. They don't set players' jerseys on fire for absolutely no reason.
That's the Cavs.
They don't. It's Cleveland. They don't. You didn't have that dude recording himself or taking a picture of himself pissing on Art Modell's grave.
You say it's the same 20 people. I would say, but it's the Browns, right? Like even when they make the right moves, man, you guys don't understand. Even when they make the right moves, it blows up in their face. What they did to bring in Deshaun Watson was the absolute right move. And I was praising it the whole time. Yes, you get rid of Baker. Deshaun Watson was at the time a top 5 QB.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer. You pay whatever it takes. You have to be aggressive when you have a losing culture like that. You do whatever it takes to get a player like that. He's well worth the risk. And as soon as they do it, all this stuff comes out about him.
Look, I can't go with them like for the aforementioned reason.
Yeah.
But also because they don't have any expectations. They just they'll talk themselves into it like every other fan base will. But the Dallas Cowboys actually have good teams every year and actually let their fans down every year in the playoffs in the most embarrassing way possible. Another
they still have the history though. They still have.
Well, that's why I said under a certain age. But if we want to include the entire history, we've got the Atlanta Falcons, right? Like they find spectacularly embarrassing ways to lose all the time. They went to the Super Bowl and had a 28-3 lead with literally not enough time to lose that lead and lost the lead and lost the game.
I just think at least they've been to Super Bowls. Buck says the Lions. At least they've.
If we want to include the entire history, Cleveland has a lot of championships.
Yeah. Okay. Still, no Super Bowls though.
No, they don't have any Super Bowls, but they have a lot of championships, and there are teams who don't have either.
Yeah, but in this modern age of football, we count Super Bowls. We don't count championships, right? And even if you weren't alive to see the Cowboys win a Super Bowl, they have 5 Super Bowls, right? So you can always lean on that if you're a Cowboys fan. The Browns have just been straight bad, and it's not even like, okay, at least with you had Michael Vick in Atlanta. You had some hot moments. You may not won a Super Bowl.
Well,
they
did in Cleveland too.
They never had those type of teams where you can be
They've been to the Super Bowl before.
Yeah. Okay. One time
or close to it. Yeah, but I mean, it's just
wait.
It's been a while.
Did they go?
No, I think they didn't make it to the Super Bowl.
With Kozar?
With the the play and all that, or the drive, and it's just like
no. Well, I say some hot they never had Atlanta's had a few of these moments. You've had your Michael Vicks, right?
But Michael Vick never won anything. He wasn't close to winning anything.
No, but they had some good years. I mean, he was in the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
But they've had some exciting years with these players. Same thing with Matty Ice. They've had some good seasons. They didn't win, but they had some good seasons. Same thing with the Lions. Barry Sanders, Megatron, right? Stafford, they didn't win a lot, but they've had a couple exciting years there. Cleveland, Bernie Kosar is the only thing you can hang your hat on.
I believe they've been in the playoffs a few times. They had most of their success was a while ago, but that happens to a lot of teams. A lot of teams go through long droughts, and I can't, because of the way their fan base acts. I can't get with them. I relish them losing.
But we're not talking about the fan base. We're talking about the team.
I mean,
their owner under FBI investigation.
Yeah, but
everybody in his organization except him goes to prison. Y'all don't know about that.
Sounds like he won. Doesn't sound like a curse to me. Doesn't sound like a curse to me.
Okay, all right. I hope that answered the question. And by the way, I also want to say this, right? Because you're bringing up the Bills as having bad luck. It's only in America where we consider 4 straight Super Bowl appearances losers. You would call that team, they're losers because they didn't win it all. Any other country would celebrate that team, but not over here.
And look, again, I maintain that it's worse to have great players and never win. I would rather be a Cleveland fan than, say, a Miami Dolphin fan who had one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and couldn't win.
I think if you go into the season knowing, excuse me, if you go into the season knowing, we suck, it's fine. But when you think you have hope and it falls apart again, you're like, this is just like last year. But
again, and this is where I talk about that fan base, they give themselves hope that isn't real.
Yeah.
They do that to themselves. They're not actually that good. They just convince themselves that they're that good. That's why I don't feel sorry for them.
Darius says, I think it's the Jets. If you look at the what ifs for that team, it's crazy. That is true. You might have a winner there. Yeah, that's a good one, Darren. That's a good one. All right, next question. That was only the first question. Jeez.
Yes, first question. Next question, we've got Coach Evans. What do you think about the Adam Thielen thinking the Panthers could have been a Super Bowl team in year 2 of Bryce Young? There was I tried to upload it, but for whatever reason, when I converted it to an MP4, it got all weird, so I could put it up here. But after the last game, he's at his locker saying that, he doesn't have a lot of years left, obviously, but he was looking to sign with the team and try to make a run at the Super Bowl. And he thought they could be a playoff team this year, and then come back and kind of ride that wave and maybe be a contender for a Super Bowl in year 2. We all thought they were a playoff team this year, or at least a contender for a playoff team this year.
Mhm.
And you look at Houston. They were in the playoffs this year, and I guarantee you every Houston Texans fan is going to think they're a contender for the Super Bowl next year. So I don't think it was that far off. It's just, everything that we thought was going to go right went horribly, horribly wrong for Carolina this year.
Yeah, I thought Bryce Young was going to be the rookie of the year. I thought the Panthers were going to win the NFC South. I still kind of felt that way even like halfway through the season because, they're only 2 games out of it, right, with 1 win. So, yeah, and I didn't think Thielen would fall off as much as he did. I thought Jonathan Mingo would be a solid wide receiver. He was a good wide receiver in college.
Miles Sanders would be their starting running back,
and the coaching staff. We weren't. Frank Wright was neither one of our first choices, but you look at the staff he assembled. Yeah. We thought, okay, they're going to develop this quarterback. He's going to be in good hands, and it's like I said, it went horribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's next?
Next up, we have Jay the Sixth. With the hiring of Dan Morgan as GM, is Bryce Young and the future talent effed, or we can build something great once we hire the coach? Jay, I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you be excited about Dan Morgan. Not going to do it. I'm not going to say he's going to be a good GM, but they can absolutely build something, depending on who the coach is. It is all a collaborative effort anyway, so it kind of depends on who you bring in. And look, I still think Bryce Young has the talent. And look, even with the performance of the O-line this year, I think that most of those guys can turn things around. They're all very young, and you don't really expect consistent play, or you shouldn't expect consistent play out of young O-linemen. And they had injury issues on the interior of that line, which kind of derailed things as well. They need to obviously improve the weapons. They need wide receivers. They need a new running back. They need a tight end. But, you look on the defensive side right now, you got Brian Burns and Derek Brown, which is and Frankie Louvu, once you get that done. So that's a very solid beginning to your front seven. If J.C. Horn would ever stay healthy, they got a pretty good number 1 corner there. They have decent safeties and everything. So, I mean, it's not a total teardown.
No.
But it's just that, the areas they lack are some of the more important areas in football.
Yeah. No, you said it all there. This offseason is going to say a whole lot. Dan Morgan, I don't. Like I said, I don't like how he was hired. Right. Bill Cosby. Can we still reference Bill Cosby? Remember the Bill Cosby show? That episode where Denise brings home her husband, who they never met. All right, and Bill's talking to him. He says, you like steak? He's like, yeah, I love steak. He's like, okay, we eat with it. Yeah, gotta have good potatoes, some green beans or whatever, and he's like, cool, right? He's like, imagine I made all that for you, right? Nice juicy steak, got the potatoes, and I put it all in a trash lid and hand it to you. You want to eat that? And he's like, no. He's like, well, that's how you came to us, on a trash lid. That's how Dan Morgan came to y'all, on a trash lid. Okay, he may be good, but it's how he got the job. It's how he was presented to you guys. Is what was what turning you guys off right now. It's turning me off, at least, right? Yeah. I don't like that, because it tells me everything David Tepper was saying before about cleaning the house and really doing his due diligence. That's just talking. That's lip service, right? You knew you wanted Dan Morgan the whole time. That was who you're gonna go with.
Also, the real answer for that tortured fan base or cursed franchise is the San Diego / LA Chargers, because no one loses in more hilarious and unpredictable fashion, and not even just in like playoff games or championship games or anything like that. Just week to week, they have the dumbest losses, and it never goes away. And they're hurt all the time, and they've got a terrible owner. It's everything with the Chargers. So the Chargers are the real answer.
You're right. They have a terrible owner, and they stay loaded with talent, and they never win.
Yes.
It is the Chargers.
Think about it. They had a Hall of Fame quarterback in Phillip Rivers, at the time the best tight end to ever play, and a top 5 running back of all time. They had the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense, and they had a Hall of Fame coach in Marty Schottenheimer, and they just didn't make it. They just didn't go. They just got beat. They had one of the greatest linebackers to ever play the game in Junior Seau, and obviously a good team around him. They got to the Super Bowl, and the 49ers said, "Oh yeah, watch this." And Jerry Rice
had 350 yards receiving,
and Jerry Rice had 87 touchdowns in that game. Look it up. All right, so that was it for submitted questions. Gonna go ahead and move on now to the conference championship predictions.
Okay, we're gonna make this quick because we gotta do trivia time.
It's gonna be quick because there's only two games. So.
Okay. All right. So Detroit and San Francisco. Again, I didn't want to spend too much time on this because we're gonna discuss a little bit more of this on an overtime show. But man, I don't know, man. I don't know. San Francisco is the better team, but Brock Purdy, guys.
I'll help you out. Detroit wins, and Detroit wins because San Francisco will not be able to handle Jahmyr Gibbs.
There is something that Brock Purdy said that another YouTuber asked him. I don't know if I want to call him a YouTuber. He's on YouTube, but he's got media credentials. But he asked him a question, and his response to the question is why I just don't feel good about Brock Purdy. Like I never believed in Brock Purdy, but I figure he's having a good year. He's playing good enough. They're gonna go to the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
But ever since that Ravens game, he hasn't looked great. I want to say he's been exposed, but yeah, he's been exposed. He didn't look good in the Green Bay game. They should have absolutely went home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't feel good, but I'm gonna tell you what that guy said in the overtime show. I'm gonna tell you what was asked of Brock Purdy and how he answered. And if I'm a San Francisco fan, I'd be nervous.
You gotta make your pick.
I'm going San Francisco.
Okay. made the wrong pick, but that's all right. Moving on, we got Baltimore and Kansas City, obviously playing in Baltimore. You got 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP Pat Mahomes. You got the number 1 defense in Baltimore and like the number 3 defense or whatever in Kansas City. You got Hall of Fame best tight end ever Travis Kelce, good tight end Mark Andrews, with his little buddy Isaiah Likely. So it should be a very entertaining game. I said earlier, I think that Kansas City goes up early and Lamar brings Baltimore back. I'm sticking with that. I think the Ravens win 27-24 in a very dramatic and highly entertaining game.
Wow. So it's the same score as the Chiefs and Bills, huh?
They don't own that score.
I'm going to say similar. They might get up early. Might be a little back and forth a little bit, but I think the Ravens pull out at the end, and they win by 2 scores, 35-21.
Wow. Okay. I don't know about all that, but all right. That brings us basically to the end of the show. It's trivia time. I want you all to know that this isn't. I didn't go and find. Normally, I try to find a trivia question that kind of relates to something that we're talking about, as best I can. I didn't do that this time. I didn't really look up a trivia question. This is going to be an easy one. It's going to be really about how fast you can type, and it's going to be a little bit of a know your host kind of question. Okay. So I mentioned when we were talking about basketball, the Lakers are under 500. They're 22-23. That's because they played last night against the LA Clippers, They lost 127 to 116. Kawhi Leonard got his second triple-double of his career, mind you. So shout out to Kawhi Leonard. He had a great game. LeBron didn't play in this one, so, which is part of a big part of why they lost, if we're being honest. Sure, right? Yeah. But D'Angelo Russell led the Lakers, actually he was the high scorer for the game with 27 points. He was 9 for 21. He had 27 points, 10 assists. And late in the game, the Lakers were coming back. They got it to within 2 at one point. But D'Angelo came through with some really key, really clutch turnovers for the Clippers. Just some dumbass passes. Like, what are you doing kind of passes. And so, the Clippers pulled away because they actually have 3-point shooters. The Lakers don't. And they took that L. Now, I went and I looked it up just to remind myself. But the Lakers signed D'Angelo Russell to a 2-year, $36 million contract, so he's making $18 million a year. So my question to you all is exactly how much is D'Angelo Russell overpaid? So that's going to be the trivia question for today.
How much is D'Angelo Russell overpaid? How much is he making?
Keep in mind, he's making $18 million a year.
Wow. And it says 30 mil.
He can't be 30 mil. He's only making 18 million a year.
He said, you owe some money, sir.
He said, you owe most of it.
Buck says all his money. D-Weez is 18 mil a year. This is the right answer right here, Chris. For today's NBA, he's not.
That's not what we're talking about, Chris. We're not talking about logic here. We're talking about how I felt watching that game. and the correct answer is all of his money, 18 mil a year, 18 million. So thank you to Noah, Derek, and Brandon. He's a bum. Get him the hell out of LA. I'm not even 100% sure.
Ken Kaiser says he's not worth the mega chips.
I'm giving you an extra 500 too. I'm not even sure that getting DeJounte Murray is going to make them better, but I want it to happen just so I don't have to look at D'Angelo Russell and his fake eyebrows anymore. All right, I'm done with it.
I don't know what happened to him from the time Brooklyn handed him off to where you go, Minnesota. I don't know what happened, but like he started with the Lakers, kind of a flop. Went to Brooklyn. We revived his career. Mm-hmm. He was playing so well. Him and Karis LeVert, Jarrett Allen, they were playing so well. I was like, I don't want to break this team up. Not for Kyrie, right? But KD comes with Kyrie, or Kyrie comes with KD. Yeah. So, but I was like, I don't want to. But they looked so good and so promising. I was like, okay, fine, right. But I knew we were losing some good players there. But D'Angelo just kind of went back down, And I thought when you guys got him, I was like, okay, that's gonna be a key piece to your guys' championship run. And
he is an unserious human being. After the playoffs last year, they asked him, and he said, "Yeah, I thought everything went really well, except my shot wasn't going in. That's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing that matters when you're D'Angelo Russell is that your shot goes in."
Salute, Omar.
I hate it.
All right, well, I appreciate y'all coming through here at the end. Still 75 people in the chat. All right, but that's the show. All right, if you want to hang out with us some more, go over to patreon.com/LBHT Show for as little as $5. I know you got $5 in your pocket. I know you got it. Also, I should have mentioned this earlier when we had like 130 people in here. But April 6th, we are going to be doing a tour of the soon-to-be Super Bowl champions. Okay, we're going to do a stadium tour of M&T Bank Stadium. All right, that is for patrons only. Patrons only of this channel, Open Mic with OTR Mike, Rogue Pod, and Coach Evans. Okay, so 2 Tally Films. All right, but there are limited seats. There are limited spaces available. I'm not sure how many, but there are limited spaces available. You have to give us a heads up. Let us know that you're going to come. We're going to be doing a tour of M&T Bank Stadium, and then we're going to get something to eat afterwards, some place nearby. There's a lot of nice restaurants in Baltimore. We'll pick a spot and we'll hang out. Be a mini meet and greet, if you will. All right, that's going on April 6th. All right, for patrons only. So sign up, patreon.com/LBHT Show, patreon.com/RollPod, patreon.com/Sip2Tally, and patreon.com/ is it OTR Mike? I think it might be.
I believe so.
Any one of those places, you can sign up. All right. Don't try to sign up the month of for the free trial thinking you're going to get in. You will be disappointed. All right. All right. But yes, the overtime show is next. All right. If you want to be a part of that, hang out with us some more. That's going to be a lot of fun. There they go right there. Jim Harbaugh, Bill Belichick, and other coaches. What's going on with them right now? Where we think they're going to go. 1777 memorabilia says, what's up? What's up with you? And thanks for coming through, and hit that subscribe button. Sign for the Patreon if you want to hang out with us some more. We're getting out of here. B, are you ready?
I am ready.
And listen to Dandy. Let's go Ravens. Yes. Do a last minute like and subscribe to wish our Ravens good luck on Sunday. Yes, I appreciate you, Dandy. Because says, how do you feel about Doc Rivers to Milwaukee? Hit the rewind button, because. But thanks for coming through. Tell you
what, Big, I don't like it.
All right, B is ready. We are out of here. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Peace.